We still have people joining. We'll start at 1:40 in just a few more minutes. So, hey, everybody, we've got almost everyone, not quite everyone here. We've got 66 of you who have come to join so far. So, we'll probably still have a few others dropping in here over the next several minutes. I think most folks know that class at Berkeley starts at 10 minutes after the hour, but we are going to be starting a little bit later than that today, just like a minute or two later, so that we can let the remaining folks log in here. Each day when you come on, we'll have an overview of what we plan on doing over the course of the day. So this is today's. Hopefully, you can all see this on screen. Let me give you a short overview just to kind of orient you to some of the main things that are outlined in your syllabus. And then during the first hour today, we have some opinion, idea, belief surveys we're going to have you guys complete. We will be using your responses to those over the coming days to assign you all to discussion groups that will begin next week. I'll tell you more about those in just a couple minutes. It's a big part of the course. And then we will, after you come back from completing those in a little break, then we will have a short lecture today. There's a couple of videos that we'll watch and a couple of mini lectures that I'll do. 4 hours is a long time. There will never be a time when I talk for more than 30 hours or so, 30 hours, 30 minutes, but in a part of a lecture, with the exception of Thursday's class. Thursday, we have a guest speaker, Emily, who is going to come on to talk about the female sexual system. And then I'll present a video on the male sexual system. But for the most part, we're going to try to break things up with lectures, films, discussion groups, and so on. So hopefully the classes will not feel like they're 4 hours long to you. Another thing to let you know about is on Thursdays. So each Thursday we will have an optional film documentary or two for you all to watch. Students in the past have said that they liked watching those types of videos in the human sexuality class. Other students have said that they're a little uncomfortable watching certain kinds of films. So about 3 or 4 years ago, what I did was to make the Thursday films optional so that you can watch those if you'd like. You don't have to watch those. The first 2 hours of each Thursday class period will be lecture content coverage of things that will appear on the exam. And then the second 2 hours will be for the videos that will be optional for you to watch if you'd like to. So that's going to be your Thursday class periods. And it's all spelled out on your syllabus. There's a little asterisk on the days when there will be content in the films that some people might feel a little bit uncomfortable with. There's nothing racy, nothing pornographic about the films, but some of the films will have displays of nudity and other things that for some folks from some cultural groups, they're less comfortable with. So you have the option on those. The discussion groups are mandatory. So let me tell you a little bit more about those. There will be a total of 6 this semester. 4 of them are for credit. The first one will be a practice discussion group to get you familiar with your classmates who will be in the discussion groups with you all semester long. Groups are going to be about 8 to 10 people each. So on a day, the syllabus says we have a discussion group. That's a day I'd like to have you here every day, but in particular, make sure you don't miss a discussion group day because your participation in those discussion groups go toward your final grade. So those are mandatory, and you know already when those are going to be. So try to give you a heads up each class period prior to there being a discussion group to remind you and let you know. So the first one, which will be next Tuesday, is for extra credit. So we will do a discussion group to teach you how those things work. We'll do the breakout groups. You'll get to meet your classmates. We'll give you a topic to discuss, come back and report on. And by virtue of you taking part in that discussion group practice next Tuesday, you'll receive some extra credit points towards your final grade. Similarly, the survey you guys will do today that you're going to fill out in just a little bit, those will also be points toward your extra credit points toward your final grade. So we'll do that a few times during the semester. Those are just little bonuses for you on days that you're here. When we do things like that, you can't make them up after the fact or after the class is over. So that's why I kind of encourage you to be here when you can. It is live. It is taught in real time. And the discussion groups are in real time too. If you miss a discussion group, there's not a way to make it up later because you'll be meeting with 8 to 10 of your classmates in a breakout room in real time during the 1:30 to 5:30 time slot. So that's a little bit about the discussion groups. You know when those are already, they're in your syllabus. In addition to the points toward your final grade from discussion groups, there's a midterm and a final exam. The final is cumulative, but cumulative only in the sense that we'll ask you some multiple choice questions from the first half of the course. But the essay questions on the final exam, they'll be based on material from the second half of the course. So one midterm, one final, discussion group points, that'll constitute your final grade. And then the extra credit points will be added onto your final point total if you do one or more of the extra credit assignments. So yeah, so that's I've been teaching summer class at Berkeley for 38 years, and I've been teaching human sexuality in summer session for 32. So the class has kind of been through a lot of different iterations. I think the current version is one that students kind of like. It doesn't like place unnecessary demands on you. You know when the exams are going to be. The exams are open book, open note. You can take those from anywhere, just like you can join class from anywhere. They're just on the honor system, so you can use your notes and you can use textbook, but you can't use AI to write your essays for you or anything. But other than that, it's intended to be low stress, just as a knowledge check to make sure you're following. Okay. The textbook is the 6th edition of the textbook. There are multiple editions of the textbook. The readings that are queued up for you to read are tied to the 6th edition. So please make sure if you're ordering to ask for or order that one. There's e-textbooks that you can get. The bookstore has old textbooks if you're around the Berkeley campus. So there's multiple ways you can go about purchasing those. And if you buy one through Amazon, they're relatively inexpensive. What else did I want to tell you by way of introduction? So I'll do much of the lecturing in the class, but not all. We have some guest speakers who will be coming in. We've got a couple of pre-recorded lectures from speakers who can't be with us, but wanted you to hear the wisdom they have to share with you. So those will be sprinkled throughout the semester as well. So try to mix it up a little bit. And hopefully any given Tuesday or Thursday when you come on, there will be a variety of different things that we'll be doing. So today, the first assignment is the opinion survey. So I'm gonna let's see, stop sharing here for a minute so that I can get you to where it is that we're going to go.
I have a quick question.
Please go ahead.
What's the distribution of the grades? So what's the exam, the
Yeah,
final exam and the midterm worth and
yeah, that's a great question on the first day, Edgar. Thank you. So the formula for calculating it is in the syllabus, but what I do is I weight whichever grade you do better on more heavily. So if you do better on the midterm, that gets weighted more heavily. If you do better on the final, that gets weighted more heavily. And the formula for computing that is in the syllabus. So it works in the benefit of students. So some students have yeah, a lot of stuff going on at finals time and they don't have as much time to study. So if you happen to do worse, we don't weight that study as much. So that's all spelled out. The point total and the formula is there in your syllabus.
okay, and
Um,
then my other question was very quick, sorry.
it's okay.
I sometimes I have a job and sometimes it interferes with this time in the class. Like I have to get out of the class midway through. Like, I can get in the class, but I have to get out of the class, let's say 3:30, for example. Um, does attendance is gonna count towards our
Attendance does not count, but your participation in the discussion groups does.
okay,
So if you're
so
here, if you're not here, it's okay. But if you're not here for a discussion group, you would lose the points for the
Okay,
discussion
so
group. So
as long as
to
we
make
are
sure,
in the dates posted in the syllabus for the discussion, we're good, right?
if you are participating in the discussion with your classmates at the time of the assigned discussion group, then you get full credit for that. There's not a way to make up a discussion later. Discussion doesn't mean posting your ideas. It means discussing together with your classmates. So it's a
Yeah.
breakout group. Yeah, that'll occur right here during the class. You got it. And then as long as you participate in that, you don't lose points. Everybody who participates gets full credit for that discussion group. For one of the discussion groups, you and every one of your classmates is asked to take the leadership for that group. So maybe, next Thursday in the discussion group, you and another classmate decide you're going to be the leaders that day. So you will facilitate the conversation. When we end the discussion group and come back to class, you'll report on what your group talked about, if that makes sense. So we ask everybody to do a little bit extra once in the semester when they decide that they're going to be a facilitator that week.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but that, and it's kind of a odd class to be teaching virtually. Like the thing that students have always loved about the intro to psych class was the chance to break up into discussion groups and talk about issues more intensely with their classmates. And so it's a
Yeah.
little tougher to do, but we figured out how to do it in the breakout group formula. So that's what we'll be using this semester.
Okay. And there's a specific dates for those discussions, right?
Yes, those are posted already. And what I can try to do is to give you a sense the class period prior about when you're going to do the discussion group,
Okay.
about what time in the class period, since that's an issue. I can't, we've got 100 students in the class, so I can't the schedule that schedule. So I got to ask you guys to be there at that time because it's a live synchronous class. But I will make every effort, like I'm doing today, to record the lectures. So if you wanted to come in, that evening, if you had to miss the last hour of class, you could come in and watch the last hour on a
Okay.
recorded. Well, I'm not supposed to do that. That's not what kind of a class this is, but I know that students often have other obligations they have to attend to. So as much as I can, I can't promise I'll do it every time, but as much as I
Okay.
can, I'll try to post recordings of the class so folks who had to miss something can come in later. But the discussion groups, yeah, you got to be there for those.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
questions. No, I appreciate it. If you had the question, probably others did too. So thank you for asking that, Edgar. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then I'm going to go into, if I can find it here, I'm going to go into B courses itself because I need to make sure that I've activated those for you guys. Hang on a second. This is the hardest thing for me is multitasking. Um, but I think I've found where I need to be here. So if I go into the assignments tab, and then I'm going to make these live for y'all. So um, okay. So if you are able to, any of you that are like, you all are in B courses right now, I know, but if you can go into the assignments and see whether or not the first day survey is showing up for you. There's two parts to it. The first part is demographics, just asking a little bit about your background so we have some idea who's in the class. And then the second part is the free response questions. Are you able to see whether those are showing up for you in today's module?
I can see them.
You can, great.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
can see
terrific.
him
Thank you.
too. I can see him too.
All right, so we got them active for you guys. So essentially, there's 6 questions, and I'll ask you all to spend about 10 minutes on each question. There's obviously no right or wrong answers. This is to really just get a pulse for the class, find out who's here, what some of your sensibilities are. If there are any, the last question asks you to just let us know if there's any topics we should know about that may be sensitive topics for you, so we can take those into advisement when we're putting that week's lectures together. And there's no, again, as long as you do a what's the word I'm looking for? Just an authentic job in answering each of the essays. You'll get full credit for those. The essays are worth 0 points if you don't answer them. 1 if you just sort of wave at them but don't really do a deep dive, and then 2 if you write a thorough, thoughtful answer to each one. So again, if you take about 10 minutes or so for each of those, it's right now about 155. So that'll take you to 255. I always make sure that the students have a little break, at least one during the class. So I'll let you take a little break, and then I will come back at 3:15. I'll ask you guys to join us back here in the lecture room at 3:15, and I'll present some content for today. And then we will use your writing exercises that you do now to assign you to discussion groups in the coming week. So as long as you complete those and submit those and we have them by this evening. We'll start work this evening on looking those over and getting you into groups. So you're welcome to stay plugged onto B courses. You don't have to. You can, let's see. I think I have, how do I have those set up for you guys that are online? Do I have this set up as a upload or do I have them set up as a text box? For those of you that know the difference between those two that I just said.
A text
I'll take
box,
a look.
I think.
Text box. Okay, so you do have to stay in B courses, but you don't have to stay in the Zoom lecture, is what I meant to say. So you go into the assignment. You can answer those in the text box, and then when you're done, you submit those, and then you can take a little break, and then you're going to come back here through the Zoom link into the lecture to join me for the content at 3:15. Is that clear to everybody? Everyone understand?
Yes.
So I had a post there. So it looks like there's an odd time when the surveys are due. Is that right? Someone just suggests. I'll take a look at those and make sure that the assignments are set to close at the right time for you. Oh, I know what you're looking at. So the assignments are due when you're finished writing them now. It's open until later tonight. If there's a student that didn't show up to class today because their Zoom didn't work or something, I'm going to let them do that this evening, not for credit, but just so that we can get the information and put them into a discussion group. So that is probably why the time due is a little different in there, if that answers your question. All right. All right, everybody. So I'll see you back then at 3:15. Okay.
I
Okay,
have a
bye.
cool
Thank
question.
you.
I have a cool question, Professor. For like the lecture part after 3:15, is that going to be recorded and posted?
Yeah, so I'm ending this meeting now so that we don't
Okay.
record dead space for an hour.
Right,
So I'm going to
right,
end this
right.
one and we'll have this first part of the meeting for anyone that is joining late. And then yes, at 3:15, I intend to come on and record that part as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Juan. Appreciate your question. Anybody else before I wrap up here? Okay. Sounds like everybody's good. Okay, off to your essays. I'll see you back a little later.